It's Benatari a half length in front, defies logic, just can't quite get there, and Benatari wins it by 3/4 on the line.
Yeah, that's a great result for Benatari. Jump, lead, win. Simple as that, isn't it? We tried to ride that horse a little bit off the speed the other day and it didn't really work. So his first few starts, we rode him aggressively and he ran really good races. So that's how to ride him. Interesting horse, isn't he? He sort of got sold as a weanling, then as a yearling, then as a 2-year-old, as a breeze-up horse, and then we bought him out off a barrier trial. So, yeah, interesting. But well done to Rohit Saini. He's a new client to our stable. He's got quite a few horses here and that's his first winner. So congratulations, mate. Well done. What else? A couple of people. Thanks for everyone's interest. Old Severn Road, he bowled along up in front the other day at Mornington and the rider thought he just went amiss, so he eased him up, and good reports says there's nothing wrong with him. He just probably got bumped by a horse in behind him and looks like he lost his action, and the rider just eased him up out of it. So he's come through it really well. Nigel actually complained yesterday that the horse was feeling too well, so he's good. We'll find another race for him in a couple of weeks' time. But thanks for everyone's interest, and no, there's no issues with Old Severn Road at all. Okay, really busy week this week, doing plenty of miles. We'll kick off at Geelong on Friday. Now, a couple of horses running there. Mutanaaseq, we tried to sort of see if he'll stay, and it didn't look like he'll stay at all. So we've blinkered him back up, brought him back to the 1700, back on his home track. He's just drawn just a bit of an awkward gait, but we'll jump dig and go forward on him and sit in the first couple. And fitness obviously is not a question mark, but I just reckon he probably just didn't run the big distance how we were riding him, and we took the blinkers off him, all that sort of stuff. So back to plan C with him and see how we go, but he's going really well. Pantera Nera, now he ran a really good race the other day over 1850. Was just a little bit keen in the run, and we're going to go see if we can go to the 2,000 metres, but I just didn't want him going up there and then over racing and not finishing up. So we've brought him back to the 1700. Once again, drawn a sticky gate, but nice big long run up the back straight there at Geelong, and so he should get absolutely every chance there, which is good. Manza went terrible first up and probably just over raced a little bit and raced a little bit fresh. So we've brought him back to the 1400 metres and I've blinkered him up, and we're going to let him bowl along rather than sort of trying to ride him pretty like we did first up. Drawn an average barrier, so he's going to have to slide forward from a wide gate, but hopefully they'll run right along and he can be sort of just settled running 3rd, 4th, 5th, something like that, and then finish off rather than sort of being no speed in the race and him over racing and not finishing off at all. Okay, so then we jump in the car after Geelong and we head off to Cranbourne. Nice and cold down there of a Friday night at Cranbourne. Big Moot, he has his first up run. Could not possibly be going any better, the big boy. So can't be any keen to sort of get him to the races. Going to go first up over 1200 metres and just ride him sort of to settle. Last time when we got him back down from Darwin, he was just wanting to jump and run through the bridle and was quite weak late his first couple of starts. We've done a lot more work with him. He's not as fat as he was last time, and he looks in pretty good condition. He worked up really good through the week, so hopefully he can just sort of bounce and sort of sit in the first couple, not spend a penny and be good late. Minyinga's doing absolutely nothing wrong. She's going as good as she can possibly go, and we look like we've found a nice little race for her at Cranbourne on Friday night as well. So she'll head off down there. Minyinga will just do what Minyinga always does, is that's be very competitive and try her guts out. So she'll be around about the mark. Hopefully we can put her head in front. Nice race, that sort of super Vobis race. Yeah, perfect. Okay, then on a late night, Friday night, probably get home about 1 o'clock, I would think, we'll head off to Donald. Now, young Duro, unfortunately, we took him to Horsham the other day, and in the type stalls, he threw his head up and banged his head on the roof and took a bit of skin off, and the vet scratched him, so we had to sort of put him back, had to bring him all the way home. So we've got him in at Donald on Saturday. Look, it's 1350. He won over 1300 at stall and got to the line really strong, so I don't think the 1350 is going to be too much of a drama, but we'll head off there with him. He'll bowl along. I'll probably lead or sit outside the leader and set a really, really strong tempo and play catch me if you can. But I think he's really well. The horse galloped up great here yesterday morning, and I thought he was really bright on the treadmill this morning. So he'll get his chance again. He's going extremely well, that horse, and it'd be fantastic to sort of win another race with him. Sandown Wednesday. Now, old Macrobius, he's back in town. He jumped out, had a nice little trial the other day. I'll probably give him a jump out here at the farm tomorrow morning, and that'll just top him up nicely. He'll go first up at Sandown over 1300. Traditionally, that'll tell you that's way too short for him, but no doubt he'll bowl out and be nice and keen. And when they sprint up, they'll probably leave him a bit flat-footed, but he needs to kick off somewhere. I'm just going to try and get him to those sort of midweek Wednesday meetings over a mile and bowl along on a sort of a wet track and see how we go. That'll be his go in the next couple of months, but he's got to kick off somewhere, and that'll be Sandown on Wednesday.
G'day guys, welcome to Around the Stables. This week's horse, the horse called Mutanaaseq. Yeah, he's probably hasn't reached the level that we wanted him to reach. We targeted him some decent 3-year-old races, but we just had to peg back a level. And yeah, obviously his last run that was a bit disappointing, but we've given him a real good freshen up, changed his work around. Actually, haven't really galloped him that much in the last couple of weeks, and just done a lot of work on the treadmill and things like that, and just changed his training up a bit. He's a horse that sort of gets probably a bit bored with his work, so we've given him a real freshen up and brought him back to 1700, back to his home track, and yeah, I expect to see a much improved performance.
Hi guys, we had a busy weekend. We went to Horsham on the Saturday, Launceston on the Sunday, and got a couple of placings. One horse ran particularly well, a horse called I'll Be Gone. Horsham on Saturday, stood in the gates, missed it by at least 2 or 3 lengths, and come home with a wet sail and only just missed by next. So wherever he goes next, hopefully I'll be able to stick with him. For the week ahead, we just got the one at Geelong on the Friday, and we head off again to Tassie, making a tradition of it every weekend now. We're off to Devonport on the Sunday for 5 rides there, and a couple pretty handy ones that should go good. So a few rides coming up during the week, and hopefully got a winner or two to talk about next week.
That's it for another week at Emsley Lodge. Thanks for watching. See the Kangaroos won on the weekend, running probably 4 wins off the top, so that's good. And they played Geelong this week, so got a very good record against Geelong, so I would be very worried if I was that mob. What else happened in racing? I see the synthetic track at Ballarat. They've finished it and they had galloped a few on it. I think there's some trials or something on it today, so I think the first meeting on it is next week, so they're calling it the Poly track. So I don't think there's one similar to that in Victoria. It's different to what Geelong had, and certainly different to what Pakenham had, so Lockie up there will be doing a good job, no doubt. So it'll be interesting to see how that holds up, and see a bit of feedback from it. I see the widening at Geelong. They're widening the course proper by I think 4 metres, they said, so they get an extra sort of rail movement, which will be good for Geelong. Probably give an extra couple of race meetings a year. So plenty happening as far as training and racing in Victoria. Until next week, see you later.
Just give me a second. Does he look pretty?